Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you love these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Let me zoom out a little bit to give you a better view because we are harking back to the earliest days of the Patek Philippe Aquanaut. This is the Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5066A-001 stainless steel. This was actually the original Aquanaut in form and function except for the use of a display caseback. This was the first Aquanaut with a display caseback. You can see we're talking late 90s tritium dial. 36mm, the Aquanaut was a kinder and gentler sports watch back in the day, and the timepiece on my 16cm circumference wrist wears well. If you can't quite pull off the 5167, and I can't, this one fits far better while still retaining all of the capability and iconic style of Patek Philippe sports watches in general and a steel Aquanaut in particular. The timepiece is 36mm in diameter but slim in profile at only 8.9mm thick, and you can see lug-to-lug, it's a very friendly timepiece. 41.6mm. This is a wonderfully wearable watch, and you're going to find that with a spacing between the lugs of 19mm, you'll have plenty of OEM and aftermarket options, but this was the beginning of the so-called composite strap, and it is indeed that, although frankly, let's call it what it is. It's some sort of a polymer close to rubber. The watch is nicely paired with its strap. As you can see, the geosphere cut of the dial matches the strap, and that's always been the case. On the underside, you can see it has a number of individual scoring marks, so you can cut it to length. This is a new Patek strap, so you'll have the chance to size it to your wrist, and you can see there are many degrees of adjustment with many score marks through the strap. The clasp itself is a handsome piece, double deployant stainless steel. You close it up and it features the Patek Philippe Calatrava cross on the outside. The nice thing about the double deployant is that it's less likely to pinch your wrist than the single up and over. Now the watch is beautifully made and it is exactly like the Aquanaut we know today, except it's just a little bit more compact in its size. The case band is sheer, and you can see to good effect that satin finish that runs longitudinally. The hoods of the lugs, the squared off ends of the lugs, as well as the crown guards, are of high polish, though you can see the scalloped portions leading up to the sheer guards are satin finish. The bezel is sort of rounded geometric form with polished edges and a satin finish top, will be familiar to all fans of Patek Philippe steel sports watches, and the dial will be familiar to fans of the Aquanaut. You can see that geosphere cut, and I'm going to move the minutes hand lest we confuse matters here. It does feature a date window, and you can see I've strategically set it to 3 to match the station. You have those applique indices, the Arabic numerals. You have the geosphere cut with a wonderful sort of brown-black semi-gloss. This is a tritium dial. The hands at center are white gold service replacement Luminova hands. So the watch still functions in the dark, but the dial itself, where all of the vintage value is tied up, is completely original, which is why it has that wonderful warm ecru fade. Varnished white center seconds hand. This is the caliber 330SC. The only difference between this and a 315 is that the 330 has a few more parts and it's a bit smaller on the date wheel, so it can fit a smaller watch. Turn it all over. By the way, the watch does feature a quick set date, and you can see that the caseback is easy to love. You have a display caseback. Believe it or not, the first Aquanaut models had solid casebacks. What were they thinking? I don't know. But changing with the times, Patek introduced a sapphire display, so you can see the 30 jewel caliber 330SC. S for center seconds, C for calendar. Geneva hallmark. This is old school finishing, pre-Patek Philippe seal. You have the mirrored anglage inside the jewel and screw countersinks, as well as on the edge of every bridge. You have Côte de Genève across the bridges, linear. Côte de Genève circular across the engraved winding mass. You have a spiral micro perlage on the center of the rotor and then a macro perlage on the base plate. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it is a Gyromax style free-sprung balance, so it takes that 5-position chronometer-like adjustment and it holds it in the face of bumps and disruptions on the wrist. Power reserve approximately 45 hours when fully wound, and the timepiece beautiful to see and still as water resistant as a modern 5167. So you lose nothing with the display caseback. The watch is still 120 meters water resistant. The only feature it really doesn't have, and heck, the modern Aquanaut doesn't have this either, is stop seconds. But you know what? A timepiece that's universally wearable and with a dial like this universally lovable can get away with almost anything. One of the old school original Aquanaut references. This is the 5066A-001. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox. Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5066. The tritium fades almost as soon as you shock it, but the Luminova hands will stay bright all night.